Today on Happy on Purpose, we're rolling out our mats with someone who has brought a whole new rhythm of movement, breath, and community to Vernon. I'm thrilled to welcome Shannon Wright, co-owner of Oxygen Fitness and Yoga and Fitness Vernon. Shannon has created a space where people can sweat, stretch, reset, and connect, all in the warm glow of an infrared heated studio that helps the body breathe a little deeper and the mind settle a little easier. Shannon, I'm really glad you're here, and thank you so much for joining me.
Super excited.
Yeah. This is a pretty new space, I think. How long have you guys been in this space?
Today's the 18th, so 7 months and 4 days.
Wow, okay. So like right when the building was new, basically, I think, hey?
Yeah, so we signed the lease we removed the subjects of our lease in June of 2023.
Oh, okay.
We started this endeavor, we signed the franchise agreement in November of 2022. And I waited until after midnight because my business partner Teresa, her birthday is November 25th.
Oh.
So I waited on the 24th until after midnight. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it'll be 3 years in literally 7 days since we signed the.
Well, happy business anniversary day.
Thanks.
Yeah, maybe this will be when it's airing. We don't know. It's hard to know,
Maybe.
but I'll do. So here at Happy on Purpose, we like to just kind of dive right in. We're going to keep it to about 30 minutes today, short and sweet for our listeners. So I was going to start with, for the people who haven't been here to your studio, Oxygen Yoga and Fitness, how would you describe the vibe of your studio?
Community. Yeah. The brand itself, so Oxygen Yoga and Fitness, just a little backtrack, Jen Hamilton, who's the CEO, she started recently in terms of business-wise. In 2012, she bought the studio in Maple Ridge. And prior to that, she was running boot camps. Fitness was all her life.
Right.
And so she started that studio in 2012, renovated it, decided that we're going to do infrared heat, and then it took off, and then 13 years later we're an international franchise, so it is Canadian owned. Excellent. And the big thing with the brand is community. And any of the studios that I've been to, and I've been to quite a few, it's all about community. Yeah, and it's all about judgment free, because the fitness industry, it can be quite toxic.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that, they're intimidated going into, it's intimidating walking into an environment that you don't know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And so we welcome everybody with open arms, and that is not just our location, that's basically all of the brand.
Right. So if you're on vacation in Maple Ridge or somewhere else, I think Lake Country, there's also, if you're visiting or you're somewhere and you see Oxygen Yoga and Fitness, you already know.
And you're not going to be surprised by the classes either, because it's all, anybody that teaches has to go through the methodized training.
Okay.
So it's not like, we don't vary off brand. So if you go to a total body conditioning in Vernon and you go to the total body conditioning in Dubai, it should be the same.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
That's actually excellent to know, because I think each studio definitely has. Now, I'm new-ish to yoga. I've only been to a couple of studios, mostly just at home, but there is definitely totally different ways of doing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I like that one, because I'm a girl of habit. Once I like something, I don't want it to change. It's like I want to know what to expect. I want to feel like I've walked into the same place and know where we're going to be going. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's the same vibe everywhere, and we just, our lights are low, our mats are soft, our music is loud, and everybody that walks through the door, they obviously want a really good workout, but everybody wants to have fun doing it. So
I agree. We have very little fun going on. I actually used to run workshops for adults on their play personalities and how to incorporate more play into their lives. Because when you say fun, people conjure up interesting things in their head. They think childish, but I think childlike. We still need that playful. And I think if you can work out and still have a fun, playful vibe, that's amazing.
Yeah, and we encourage karaoke. in our classes.
So sing away.
Although I will say, if you are able to sing in full sentences, you're not working hard enough.
Right. That's true. Aren't you supposed to be like kind of out of breath?
Yeah.
That's sort of where you know
So
you're
like
singing set.
2 or 3 words of a chorus, and that's acceptable.
That's acceptable. That's acceptable behavior.
Yeah.
So what drew you personally to yoga, and then what eventually led to you owning this gorgeous studio?
So, I'm gonna be honest. I was
Please
not a
do.
yoga fan. I was not. I tried. So, I'm a paramedic, and so as a paramedic, many years ago, we used to have to do everything manually. So we had this Kevorkian stretcher, and we had to push in the gatch, and we had to lift, and bodies are different sizes, and so sometimes it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And then when we get to the hospital, now we've got to maybe they transferred onto the bed wrong, so then we got to hoist them up, or we got to pull them over because they don't have any mobility. So then you got to bring them from our stretcher onto the hospital bed. So there's a lot of pulling and whatnot, and I am naturally about as flexible as a rubber band that's been in the freezer.
Right. It's gonna crack and break
the second you put tension on it. And so when I first started as a paramedic, I kind of panicked because BC Ambulance historically their injuries were mostly MSI, so your back strains, and like the back injuries were rampant.
Okay.
And so in my head, I'm like, okay, I've got to be less of a liability. So I tried yoga free. I really tried. I went to community centers. I went to different ones. I went to Bikrams.
Yeah.
And I didn't find it. I couldn't. And then I went through my parents. It was just tragic. My dad died, and then my mom. They both went in different ambulances on the same day.
Oh,
and so my mom survived, and she was in Kamloops, and I was literally running ragged for like probably 4 or 5 months. And I was commuting up here because transferring between health authorities in the province. Not different nightmare, whole different radio show. And so I was up here, I was down there, I was a single mom, so I was running myself ragged, and I collapsed into a CrossFit studio, and I collapsed into the Oxygen Yoga because I lived in New Westminster.
Wow.
Because I needed something. I was burnt out, and I was at my end.
Yeah,
and so
burnout is real.
Huge.
Yeah.
And so when I went into the Oxygen Yoga in New West, there was no judgment. Nobody yelled at you when you left the hot room. There's no carpet.
That's good.
It's super good, especially as a paramedic when I'm looking at sweat pouring off onto carpet. So, I found my home.
Yeah.
And then, so I was a member of the New West location for close to 9 years.
Okay.
Before I moved up here. And my business partner Teresa, she had gone to the studios, but only when we ventured into this was she hooked, because she lives by 2 studios. She lives at the Lower Mainland, so there's 2 kind of close to her, and so she got hooked on it. And then after I moved up here, I missed it so much.
Yeah.
That this endeavor, and so Teresa and I embarked on it.
That's
after I moved up here.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing when you move away, like just what we were saying. You want what you knew, right?
Yeah.
So then, how do you and your business partner know each other? How did you meet?
I'm dating ourselves.
Yeah.
We met in the 90s working in a bar. And so
who didn't work in a bar in the 90s?
Right?
Our age, yeah.
So that's how we met. And so we've known each other for coming up on 30 years.
So you knew you'd be good, compatible business partners.
Yeah. The same sense of humor,
Right. So then, was being self-employed and in business for yourself on your radar, you and her? Did you ever think, we should do a business?
So funny enough, we had actually looked at, I don't know what year it was. It was when I was working in Mission.
Okay.
There was a salon in Mission, and Teresa used to be an esthetician, so it was kind of up her alley.
Right.
And it was more an investment, because you walked in on me doing my hair today, so I'm not doing anybody's hair.
You look great. It was fine.
So we kind of tossed around that idea, but it didn't pan out.
Okay.
And I, in line with the paramedic, I was teaching first aid. I started teaching first aid in 2010. And then in about 2013, I bought the business. And so I had already kind of been dabbling in that.
Right.
And then when I moved, I didn't keep it up. I was too busy. And then this endeavor came, and now it's I haven't taught in years, but so that was on my radar. And then Teresa and I looked at a salon many years ago.
Yeah.
And
so
ironically it burned down, so it worked out.
It worked. I feel that most things usually do work out exactly how they're supposed to. We get in our heads thinking, oh, it didn't work out, the dream, the vision is gone. No, it just wasn't right.
Yeah.
I always have to believe that in my soul. Even when people get let go from jobs or, things aren't going as they had hoped or planned, I always think it's perfect. It's perfectly perfect the way it is. So you had mentioned that community is core. What kind of community do you guys create here and that you had always hoping for? I think being a franchise, you wanted to bring the same energy.
Same energy. Yeah. And that is the community, and that is the judgment free. Super, super passionate about that.
Yeah.
And we don't really tolerate any toxicity.
Love that.
So it's if our members are feeling uncomfortable because of somebody, it's if we've got a room full of 28 people and one person, then it's you're looking at one of these is not like the other.
Yeah.
And so, and like I mentioned before, the fitness industry as a whole can be super toxic and super intimidating, and it's very, very focused on body image.
Yeah.
And you can't ignore body image because it's front and center. You can't even go to the grocery store without looking at magazine or social media or AI nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
And so our big thing is becoming a better version of you. And that doesn't matter if you're a size 18, if you're a size 2, it doesn't matter. It's from within, and it's becoming that better version of you, whatever that means to you, and we accept you. Grab a 3-pound, grab a 30-pound. And 100%.
Yeah. I love that. I love my life. Right?
That is the mantra. That is the mantra for Oxygen. That is, all of our classes will end with that.
Yeah.
With the option of you saying it.
That's great. Yeah, it is a real thing. I always thought it was interesting that the people that would go to these studios were actually the ones that were super fit. So I'm always like, where's all us chunky monkeys that, we still need a home. We need a home. I think that's why women's fitness and stuff was always so popular with women, because you didn't have to go and compete. You didn't have to worry about the men. Mm-hmm. So even though there might be men in the classes, I love that you're creating a safe and secure, comfortable place for all body types, shapes, sizes.
Yep. And it's like I said it's like when our instructors, so our Karma Week was April 14th, and that's when, we had a couple instructors who did one-on-one. They'd never taught a group fitness class.
Wow.
Right? And even now we still have, brand new instructors. And that's another cool thing, is we actually have generational working for us. So Zoe, one of our receptionists, her mom just did the training, so she's now one of our instructors. Awesome. And we've got 2 other members that are doing the prerequisites so that we can put them through the methodized training. So it comes full circle, and
makes it more family, more community, more familiar faces. Yeah.
Yeah, and the pep talk I always give to people is to settle the nerves. It doesn't matter whether you've picked up a weight or not. So if you want to take Jillian Michaels, for example, right? So world-renowned fitness expert. Yep. At one point in that woman's life, she looked at a dumbbell and picked it up for the first time.
That's fair.
Right?
Just have to have that get the inertia going from sitting.
Yep.
And just do.
And we've had people, cry at the end of a class because they feel like it was just so good for them. They feel great, and it makes us cry too, because it's just exactly what we want to bring.
I like that. I was just one of the questions was, is there a moment with a member or class that has really stayed with you? And I think you just kind of touched on that. Is just when people come in, because your nerves are high, especially that first time, you don't know, you're going to give this thing a try, you're worried if your body's not going to perform or what to expect. And then to have such an emotional connection with it, I would imagine that would be just so rewarding.
It's so cool.
So rewarding.
It's so cool.
Yeah. And that speaks to what you guys are creating here too. When people can leave and they can say, you got to go to Oxygen, it's such a homey place and you won't be judged and it's very safe. That's a big deal. I think the studios that don't make it, they've missed that. they've missed that security community component. Yeah, I love that. I want to talk about infrared heat because I honestly, again, not being big in this industry, I've never heard of infrared yoga. I don't even know what that means. And I didn't want to do a deep dive because I wanted to hear it from you. So you tell me.
The main thing with, so there's 3 different types of infrared.
Okay.
There's mid, near, and far. So our panels are far infrared.
Okay.
I would like, I talk like I'm a pioneer, but again, it's Jen Hamilton. So the far infrared is the one that mimics the sun as best as possible.
Okay.
And it'll heat the objects in the room, not the room. So you will get the warmth kind of from within, and it's a deeper heat into deeper into tissues, deeper into fascia.
Okay.
Whereas if you go into like say a heated space with a furnace, like Bikrams for example, they traditionally had a furnace. Because I remember having hot air blowing on me, so you're heating the room, right?
Is that what hot yoga is then? Is that when the room is like just stifling hot?
I think hot yoga means that you walk into a room and you're doing yoga in the heat.
In the heat. Okay.
Whatever type of heat that means, it's just that's what the hot is. Our specific studio has 28 infrared panels.
Wow. Mm-hmm. It's a decent sized studio too.
Just
so 28 would sound like a lot, but it's a big space.
Yeah, it's about just over 1,000. I think it's like 1,035 square feet.
Yeah.
So 28 panels, and there's a formula. Again, tried and true. There's international franchises. So
right.
You get the booklet, and you have to have a panel X many feet. So yeah. And the biggest thing with infrared is you're going to have the detoxification. And there's tons of studies. Like even if you were to Google, like looking on valid websites such as like PubMed, you're going to find benefits to the infrared heat.
Yeah, PubMed. I always think that's such a good go-to place, eh? Like to get some real information instead of the worldwide interweb.
Yeah, especially AI now. You can't Google without getting an AI response. So you have to go past that to actually get to the journals.
Yeah, exactly. So remember that PubMed.
Yes.
It's a good one. In my previous life, I was a counselor, and I'd use PubMed because people would come in with pills or prescriptions, or they'd already had diagnoses. So yeah, PubMed is a big thing. So you're not new to Vernon necessarily, but what do you love about serving the people here in Vernon?
Just their happiness.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are a good group of people.
It is amazing. It's amazing. And like for example, last night, so one of our instructors, she leaves at the end of the night and her tire's flat.
Oh shoot.
So it's pitch black, it's a pouring rain, and the optometrist 2 doors down, I don't know, he was with a friend, and the friend needed to pick up contacts, and they just happened to be here. So poor Valerie, she's got her hand pump with a bicycle and she's pumping it, and we did it. Like we got it up to 20 psi.
Oh, good for you.
But he's like, let me help you, and he calls another friend, and they bring a compressor, and she was on the road in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, Vernon.
And you're not gonna find that in those big major centers. And so, and then we met Mark.
Yeah,
Sure.
There you go.
And we both neighbors, so works out.
Yeah, I do find that Vernon is a very, very friendly place, and that again, being a creature of habit, when you find your people, you tend to go back and back and back.
Yeah.
And then when you hear now you know your neighbor, it just makes the community all inclusive of this little plaza.
100%, and all of our trades too. Like our trades now work together.
Yeah.
So like our HVAC guy, he now gives contracts to the gas and plumber. Like so, Ambold HVAC, amazing, and TNJ, like they work together now. And I went to the Vernon Chamber Awards with Tanner from Ambold, and so I've referred them. Like it's such a great community, and it's cool to see. My husband's in construction, so now he's using them. It's just this branch out, and like I said, we've got the generations. So we've got Zoe, and then also her mom, and I haven't had time to call her mom, but she does seniors yoga, so she wants to come and see. So that would be amazing, 3 generations.
Totally.
So yeah,
I think we do need that. Like the only thing I ever hear for seniors is chair yoga.
Yeah.
But I think if everybody knew they were of a certain age, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't know where I heard it, so I'm not going to quote a source, but. Vernon is actually one of the highest entrepreneurial little cities. So we've got and that was what I think it might have been something that was published with the city of Vernon. we bring so many people here, and people, they need to be supporting, which is why we have community futures and we have the small business awards and a lot of entrepreneurial programs. I think that when you're in it as a business owner and you understand that other people are in business for themselves, there is sort of that little bond of like, this is hard. It's not the easiest, but it's so rewarding.
Well, and then you've got the groups like the North Okanagan Business Women who are just like,
shout out to Angie, the best.
100%. She was here on Saturday.
Was she?
Yeah, and they like, there's no judgment there either.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like it's also women supporting women.
Yeah.
So it's just, I love the community here.
Yeah,
I love
we
it.
do.
It's big enough, but it's still that small town feel.
Yeah, I totally agree. Got to more people come to Vernon. Well, maybe we don't, because then we'd lose our small town vibe. I don't know. How do you see wellness evolving in the Okanagan? Like, since you've gotten, I think you've kind of been in the industry or had your toe in it, even being a paramedic, you know about health-related injuries and things. But how do you see that evolving in our little Okanagan Valley?
I don't even think it's Okanagan specific.
Okay.
I think especially since COVID, post-COVID.
Oh, yes.
You know, I wasn't up in Vernon, so I don't know what the community was like then. But I think in general, the world was just caught up in that rat race.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta get here, I gotta get there, I gotta get here, I gotta get there. And as a business owner, like that's what we are. Like we're rambling, but that's business, right?
Yes.
And that's a startup, so that's acceptable level. Because it's temporary.
But
right?
you still have to manage it. You still have to be mindful.
You still have to manage it, and then it's great because I just do classes when I'm
As long as you don't even have to go somewhere when you're stressed out. You just jump into one of your own classes.
And then Teresa goes close by, so yeah, there's that. But there's also, I think people really, really realized that self-care shouldn't be number 34 on your list. Totally. And post-COVID, I think people just naturally were like, because you know everybody, it just the world ground to a halt.
Agreed.
And so people were sitting at home, and I mean I was guilty of it. I think I watched all of Netflix.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Which isn't healthy.
Yep.
But
what else were we supposed to do? We couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, we could talk on the phone. But so I think after that, and kind of stepping back and realizing that you're on a highway. So you're on the 401 out east, and then you take the highway and you're in a school zone, right?
Yeah.
So you're going 120 if you're not speeding, and right into 30, and you realize that maybe going 30 or 60 isn't as necessary as going 120 all the time.
Right. Or is more necessary.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to slow down for sure. The body doesn't do well like that.
No.
And I think you're right. And even the word self-care, people picture bubble baths or spas or whatever, and those are all lovely if that's your jam. Personally, I'm not a bather. For me, self-care can just mean sitting in my car for an extra 5 minutes, you know, just with nothing on. That can be self-care.
Yep.
Coming into a studio and trying something new. The research is there that when we engage the brain in a different way, that is self-care, right? So I completely hear you are preaching to the right lady about that stuff. I am a big fan of self-care, and I think we do need to sort of change that narrative that it's an extra thing you have to do. It should be incorporated. Could be incorporated into just everyday life.
Yeah, and I mean, because it's like take a saw that you're taking to a tree, right?
Yeah.
So you have to sharpen the saw. Yes. So you take the saw and you're cutting the tree, but if you cut that tree and you continue sawing, eventually the blade's going to get dull, right? So then you keep on cutting. Well, you're not making much progress. So you take the saw out, you sharpen it. So you have a little nap, you do a class, you do something for yourself, even if it's like a micro event. Something for yourself that sharpens the saw, you go back into the tree, and now you can cut the rest of the tree down.
Yeah, you're more efficient.
If that makes sense.
100% it does. It looks like you're not being productive in that moment of like I've got to stop doing the work, but by nature of stopping doing the work, sharpening your saw as your analogy, you're actually going to be more productive in the long term. And more when you're your own business, you better be healthy. Right? Because you can't just quit. You can't just call in sick and hope for benefits. Like, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So for the listeners that have never been to a yoga class before, what would you recommend here at the studio? What classes do you have for like those nervous beginners?
So all of our classes are modifiable.
Oh, okay, that's good too.
So the instructors will always provide modifications, like there's level 1, level 2, level 3.
Okay.
And you can, but I always start with a deep stretch. So you're not working hard, right? It's by candlelight. It's absolutely glorious.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and we have a fridge in the studio, a little guy, and it has ice cold cloths.
Yeah.
And so at the end of your work, whether you're doing a deep stretch or whether you're doing a bar class, you get a cold cloth at the end when you're in your final shavasana.
Oh.
And for anybody who's nervous, I would say don't be. Like in all capital letters, bold, underlined.
Come try it.
Well, don't be, come try it, because like I said, referring back to the Jillian Michaels example, everybody has to start somewhere. And so if you're sitting at home and you're scrolling and you see our ads, on Facebook, and you click and you're interested, but you're thinking, well, everybody has to start somewhere. And there's going to be people in the classroom, I've seen it, that are in the studio that they can do, the instructor calls for 50 squats. They'll do 50. There's people that'll do like 60 squats. Yeah. And then you've got the person that was sitting on the couch and they decide they muster up.
I might do 10.
But you were sitting on the couch.
Yes.
And you got up the courage, you got up the nerve, and you got in your car with purpose. You drove to the studio and you're like, I'm in it. And you go there and you do 10. That is 10 more than you did when you decided I'll try another day. Right?
So that actually wraps around to, we were talking about it being a safe space. So it's not really necessary to have like a beginner class or any of them that, like you say, maybe start with a stretch because it might be a little easier of an entry point. But that if something looks good, just come in. Can they call ahead and like just come and meet the studio, like you guys?
Just show up.
Just show up.
Yeah. We do typically, like if I'm here, like if I'm at the studio, I typically stay a bit later. We do our reception. Lisa's amazing. So the mornings. Okay. So typically between 11:30, except for Fridays and Wednesdays are open later.
Okay.
And then during that time, so 6 o'clock in the morning until, call it safe, 11.
Yeah.
And then 4:30ish until 9, you can just show up and we'll give you a tour. And
that's amazing. Yeah, because you guys are, your signage is so visible from the highway, and it's so easy to get in here, and there's so much parking.
Parking was a big deal for us.
It is a big deal.
We wanted North End and we wanted parking.
Yeah.
That was our two main
priorities. Nailed it. So much parking. And a brand new building, which is amazing.
Of course, I love this building.
Fresh in here. Yeah. So we're probably going to have to start wrapping it up. And is there anything exciting coming up at Oxygen that you want to talk about?
Other than our every single day life.
Yes, which is amazing.
Because like I said, our lights are low, our music's loud, so we don't have any events planned, but oftentimes in the community, people will reach out for donations all the time.
Yeah. And
my answer is yes before they finish their sentence, because especially if it's a fundraising, we give back as much as we can. And so you'll often find us like something to bid on or door prizes or something if you go to an event in the community. Outside of that, we've got our Black Fridays coming up, which is a great deal. And then we've got the 12 Days of Fitness.
See, that's a thing.
Yeah, that's a thing. So that'll be obviously coming up in December. And so each day there'll be a certain special, right? Okay. So it'll be buy one, get one. There'll be 20% off toques, or there's a day. Like something every single day. And then we've also got, New Year's. Yeah. Years ago in the 90s, I worked at Fitness World, and New Year's was a big deal. Okay. I always worked Christmas Day.
Why is New Year's a big deal? Why?
Because, you know what, I don't know.
Is it New Year's Day? Or is it New Year's Eve? It's like all those people with their New Year's resolutions?
It's in resolutions, but I don't know that it's that popular anymore.
Right.
Because people, there's still the people that are like, New Year, new me.
Yeah.
Right? And so there is going to be that influx, obviously. But I don't know, don't know necessarily if New Year, new you is a...
I'm actually super happy about that. That was always so stressful, and everybody knew you're going to last 30 minutes. You can't just start something and go completely full out They get you worn out. You haven't changed any routines. You haven't changed anything. So that's actually super good to hear.
And also too, in closing, that is like the biggest recipe for failure is when you throw something so much on your plate. Because at the end of the day, you can't quit smoking, quit drinking, start exercising, and eating right. You can't. Like,
well, you could for 2 days.
You can. You can start it, but the likelihood of you finishing it, right? So, your first month, okay, so quit smoking. Your second month, quit drinking. And then baby steps incorporating the exercise.
Yes.
And then it has to be this compounding thing. It can't just be all at once. And that's why New Year's, in the fitness industry, we used to, be like insane. January, right? The first couple of weeks of January, and then it would peter off by March.
Or then right again of June. You got to get bikini ready,
right? Which that's the body image.
Totally hated it.
Yeah.
Hated it. Yeah. I'm so glad there's that is changing. Having young daughters and a young son, I'm just really glad that's changing.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, young, they're in their 20s, all of them. But anyway, I feel like they're all still young. So where can people follow you to follow along on all the great things that are here?
So Facebook is our full name, Oxygen Yoga and Fitness Vernon.
Okay.
Instagram is OYF Vernon.
Okay.
And then, like I said, at events, if you go to a school fundraiser, there's a pretty good chance you can bid on a silent auction item.
Yeah. With Christmas coming, there's a few fundraisers coming up.
Yeah.
We'll be looking for your stuff.
Yeah, there's I think I wrote out 5 gift certificates yesterday for pickup. So
actually, what is how do people pay? Like, do you have punch passes? Do you have monthly passes? Like, what is your membership?
You can do a variation. So typically the auto pay is probably your best bet, or like a prepaid. But having a 6-month or a 12-month prepaid is a chunk of change.
Yeah.
So oftentimes people will do the bi-weekly payments, which is every 2 weeks we debit from your account. You can do punch passes. The punch pass becomes less value if you're doing 2 or more classes a week.
Okay.
And it's aside from the punch passes, our memberships are unlimited. So we've got a great gal. I love her to death. She's one of my favorites, and she did 4 yesterday. It was like Groundhog Day. I saw her at 5 in the morning, and then I saw her again the whole night.
Yeah.
So our classes are unlimited, but unless it's a punch pass, and then you're paying an exorbitant amount of money if you're going to be using it frequently. But the Black Friday deal and the auto pay, those are the ideal. Those are the sweet spot. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Shannon, thank you so much for sharing your story and the heart behind Oxygen Yoga and Fitness Vernon. And thank you to everyone listening. This is Happy on Purpose, where we shine a light on the people bringing presence, meaning, and community to the Okanagan. I'm Janessa Pearson, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Janessa.
Thank you.